Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? You already know it's your boy OP Shadow in the building. Uh, got a very special devlog for y'all today. Y'all might hear me communicating with my brother. I'd say my favorite brother because I have two more, but he's my first brother, so he's been my favorite brother for a long time. Um, so if you hear me side chatting or whatever, it's because I'm communicating with my brother. But very exciting stream I got to share with y'all. It's our devlog progress up to this point. So I'm gonna do less talking and get it up onto the screen. Let's go ahead and share our screen. Boom. I'm actually trying to share my terminal. So we're gonna go to tabs. Okay, and share. All right. So now y'all are in my server player. All right, bet. So yeah. Well, thank you. It's actually no, that's because my laptop's in my lap and I'm sitting on my bed. Hmm. Not sure, but the game is coming up now. You ready? All right, one, two, and three. Hit it. So I just executed our code. And it is a lot of line of code, so it may take a second to execute. Unless it's already out. Okay. There it goes. There it go. All right. I had interrupted it. All right, bet. So there's my character, right? I don't know. Have you seen this part, bro? Like that my character can like explore and travel or whatever. Senpai. All right. So I said, have you seen this part that my character can like explore and stuff? All right, cool. So check this out. I can press E to enter a level, right? So this is level one. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and press enter. Boom. So I'm on level one. That's why I said it's like the rough framework. So now I go through level one and I can press escape and go back to the world map. Or let's see, I enter the level. You saw that the level was yellow still. Let me move this out of the way. All right. I'm not sure. Can you see the purple diamond? Okay. No, there's actually a delay, bro, because you're watching the stream. So that's what you're experiencing. You're listening to me in real time. All right. So I picked up a purple diamond, right? If you haven't seen it yet, you will. I picked up a purple diamond. That is called a time stone. Okay. And then you see my time stone counter in the bottom right hand corner of the screen increased by one. So the simplistic has a lot to do with the game, but you're going to need time stones. Now, there was an exit right here. I can use this exit. That's basically once you completed the level. That'll be you exit the level. Now, the level is green. It's outlined in green. It shows completion. And there'll be other animations that I'm going to put in this place, but the framework is there. Now, I can use a time stone to travel through one of these red portals. Once a red portal is used, it becomes gray, and that'll be an animation in itself. But I'm in a different world now. I went from the age of magic to the age of science, right? Boom. So there's also a level 1 here. And I go in, press E to enter. If I hit escape, I won't get, and I'm not on that screen right now, but from the world map, I can see like if I press, and I should actually split it up. But if I press exit, I won't get a progression like in the Age of Science or like the level completion. It says 2 of 20 right now. So I got another time stone. So whenever I gather a time stone, my time stone counter goes up. I'm gonna go, instead of using that portal, I'm gonna go into level 2. I'm gonna get 2 time stones, right? So this is kind of like showing y'all my logic, or how my logic works for my game. All right. I still have to finish the levels. Like I said, this is just a rough framework. But here's a second time stone. My time stone counter just went up to 2. Anytime that I use a portal, my time stones are used. Boom. All right. So that's basically how the game is working. There's something called an inspiration counter and a reflection counter. I thought there's something wrong with my logic, because as I use the time stones, my inspiration and my reflections should be going up. So like if I use a portal in the age of magic, it should make my inspiration go up by 1. And if I use a portal in the age of science, it should make my reflection go up. So basically the time stones are important because when you're in the age of magic, you are gathering inspiration through the tasks that you're going to have to complete, and then use a time stone to go forward in the future. Because you're inspired, you're going to dream. Basically, your character will go to sleep, you will dream, and it'll take you to the future. But if you're already in the future, if you're already in the age of science, and you collect the and you can always revisit levels. So like even though it's green, I can go back into a level, I can complete it again. I never checked to see if, yeah, time stone is used. So you will not get another time stone for doing that. Right. So there's very specific times that you can travel through time. It's coordinated like that to help with the game progression. All right. Boom. I'm gonna go into another level. I'm gonna grab me a time stone. I don't like the fact that my counter's not working. I'm gonna have to debug that whenever I get off of here. All right, so there's a time stone. Boom. Running through the world. I'm in the age of science. I'm in the future. So I just told y'all how to get to the future from the age of magic. You'll like your character will have different parts, like where they'll go ahead and rest. And like just because you can rest don't mean you're always gonna dream and move forward. You have to have like um you'd have to have a time stone to dream and go forward. So if you have, and that's going to represent the red portal. So right now, red portals are just a sit-in for a place that you will be basically resting. And once you rest, then it will knock you to the future. So you'll go forward and there'll be a cutscene where it's like the eye of a dragon and you'll feel like you're flying. It's part of the story, but you will you'll be in the future whenever you wake up. And so you're going back and forth in time. So that's why there's this 2 different like world maps. But then whenever you're in the future already, obviously you're not going to be inspired or dream to the future. you would complete certain tasks here in the future. In the future, you're going to be a student. So you're going to study, you're going to learn certain things about like architecture and agriculture and stuff like that. Once you learn what you needed to know for that specific mission in the future, you'll go back to the past. The way you'll go back to the past, I got a time stone. I'm already in the future. So I come over here, boom, it takes me back to the past. What I'll do is I'll meditate or I'll reflect. By reflecting, you go backwards, right? So by meditating, that's how you get back to, and you'll be able to meditate at will while you're in the future. But if you meditate in the future without a time stone, it's not going to take you back. So that's how you go back and forth between the future and the past. Let's see. I'll say they diverge. They're kind of down here. So that's the back and forth. The next part of the game, or like that's the framework for the game overall. That's why I said it's like the rough framing of the game, where you now we got a way for you to go forwards and backwards through time. Um, we got counters that kind of keep track of, and you can see my time stones are back to zero. So like if you're one of those people, I'll have to make it where in the game, like you're like some people they'll go through all of the levels, get all of the time stones, and then start trying to do stuff. But there'll be like hard stops in the game where you have to kind of you can't really progress the story without actually going to the future at different points. Because by learning the agriculture, infrastructure, engineering, stuff like that, by taking the knowledge from in the future as you're a student back to the past, you will use that information to build up the infrastructure of the past. So like you're literally creating the timeline. And the all right, and so like I'll go ahead and give y'all another piece. In the past, it's called the Age of Magic for a reason. There's all these magical beasts. And the real storyline is that like the main character, which is not this character sprite, the main character is the hunter. And he is, let me see. The main character basically hunts magical beasts. And he's only the main character. That's another reason why I couldn't have put in more characters before I did the levels, because you only are the main character for a certain amount of missions. And that character is called the hero. You'll start out in the game as the hero. You'll do maybe the first 3 levels, maybe, yeah, like the first 2 levels of the game as the hero. So you'll start out, you'll spawn into the Age of Magic as the hero, and the game starts and it's going through the story. You have some cutscenes, and then boom, as the hero, you'll complete these missions. And as you're completing those missions, you'll actually change characters because the hero becomes compromised and he's no longer the good guy. So at which point you shift to be the good guy, or the new good guy, because he's become compromised. And so that's why it was important to have the levels, because the character selection is going to be level dependent. But either way, it's going to be your player character. So once the original character becomes the bad guy, you're going to play through, and it's still not going to be this character sprite. This character sprite actually is cool. I like Ninja, so it ended up being my first character sprite. And I don't, some of y'all may not have seen, but he can do some pretty cool stuff. He can run like Naruto. He can jump. Let's see, we'll bring him down because he's jumping up against the border. Let's see. Boom. Oh, boom. Jump. He has a really cool jump animation. Full 6 sequences or full 6 frames. And so usually I had to go back in and tweak some stuff because it's doing things that it hasn't done since I fixed them a long time ago. Like where he's moving faster than the XY. It was just working fine last night before I saved it last night. I know I did. So I wonder, that's the first time I saved it in a long time. Wonder if when I saved it, I messed something up because I just clicked save instead of save as. But either way, I got the script backed up. Let me see. I'm gonna close that. Let me see. Let me see. I'm going to close it. Yeah, some parts have to be like conflicting with code that was already there because my scroll is a little bit bugged right now. And my counter isn't working, and my counter was working last night before I went to bed. So boom. So I'm gonna go back to the last version that I made last night before I went to bed before I saved it and make sure that it's doing what I needed to do. All right. And let's bring y'all back up. Uh, there we go. All right. Boom. All right. And so, like, the whole point of the game is to, like I said, the hunter starts out hunting magical beasts. The main character is going to be protecting the magical beast. And so he'll be coming back to the past with the information he's learning. And he'll use like the engineering, agriculture, and all that stuff to, one, save the beast, but also build up society in a way that hides the beast. So like the dragons, the unicorns, the lions with wings, whatever kind of magical creatures we put into the game, he's going to be designing and building society up from the past with information for the future to protect the magical creatures in the future. All right, boom. Let's see. So let's see if our counter's working again. Come over here, hit E. I already know where it is. I got a time stone. All right, I'm gonna use it. Yes. All right, we're back in business. Our inspiration counter is working. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all a quick playthrough. Um, I'm in the age of science. I'm gonna go ahead and get me some time stones. Obviously, I wouldn't play the game like this. I'd actually play through it if I was like playing it for the story. But for right now, let's see. Yeah, my what's it called is working. So for whatever reason, when I saved it, it kind of messed it up last night. So I'm gonna run what I got, and I probably it's the way I saved it is what messed it up. I'm sure. Um, so I just beat level 2, and I'll change. I'll put like the actual names of the places, and I'll put in some more like I need to put in some more tiles. And if you here, you might as well like, comment, and subscribe. You feel me? Show some love. If you don't, you don't. I ain't tripping off of it, but you here, might as well at least drop a like. You feel me? Or don't. I'm still gonna keep putting out what I'm putting out. So it is what it is. I got 3 time stones right now, so I must have just ran over that one without even noticing it. I'm collecting time stones right now because, like I said, this isn't how I will play through it, but it's important for me to show y'all what happens when you beat the game. So after you've filled up your inspiration meter and your reflection meter, which means that you beat the levels, you completed the tasks. Another thing, I need to fix my respawn spot back to the level entrance, like after you beat it, because what it does is it continuously goes back to the beginning of the world, which May not necessarily be a bad thing. It's not a good thing because like you're progressing through the world. This map, the maps are going to be a lot bigger. They're going to like I still got to put in the detail and stuff, but they're going to be a lot bigger. And so you don't want to keep starting way back at the beginning corner of the map. That wouldn't be no fun. All right. And you can see I'm not going back and forth just because I'm trying to keep up with what I'm doing. But in real life, you would need to go back and forth and you'll see it. Actually, I might as well. I beat a few of these. Let's use this portal. We'll beat a couple of these. Did one. And you see our time stones is at 5. Time stones are only depleted by using the red portals at this point, but that will ultimately be whenever you meditate or dream. Oh, so magic. Okay. 3. That's the cool thing about game design. Even though the game ain't done, it actually is a game at this point. You feel me? Like you could turn this into like a very simplistic game if you were just bored and need something to do. It's like, oh, find the purple diamonds and find the purple diamonds, fill all the meters, and game complete. You feel me? Like that's the cool part about game design. Like, I mean, the game is actually like rough wise, like there's a structure for it. Now I'm gonna go back and put certain sprites or like illustrations and oh, copy. So the last thing I'll tell you is, well, you can always go back and watch the stream, but once I fill up all the meters, you'll get to see what happens when the game is over. So if you get a chance, go back and check it out. But thank you for checking it out, brother. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of it. All right, love you too. All right, so our special guest is out, but I appreciate him dropping in. That is my brother. Well, he would be the original Shadow because he was Zen Shadow, and then I was Phi Shadow, but he was Shadow first. I became well. I mean, I guess we're just brothers, so we'd be on the same stuff. But I became the Phi Shadow, so that the brothers were shadows. We were unique shadows, but we were both shadows. Where's all of this? All of a sudden, threw me for a loop. All right, let's see. I'll make some more tiles, so I can like actually add some variability to the levels, and like when I'm changing their names, it'll actually be. I still got to do an inventory system. There's still a lot to do. So we have 14. We have 14 out of 20. Where it say Age of Magic, it actually should say like it should say Age of Magic, and then underneath that it should say completion, progression, or something like that, or game progression. And the levels. We're gonna get into those too. Let me see. Boom. Level 9. So there's 12 levels on the Age of Magic map, and there's 8 levels on the Age of Science map. And so that's why I didn't bother going back and forth on the portals. And ultimately, as a player, you're not going to be able to either. Because if you just went back and forth, there's a potential that you could get stuck in time without enough time stones. Because it's only a certain amount. It's not like it goes. There's an even number of portals, and you have to go back and forth a specific amount of times. I have to actually like think about it to figure out what's the probability, because I do need to figure out the chances of breaking. Basically ruining the player experience by having it where they can't complete it. I do need to add a save point. Oh, I could tell y'all the ninja character. The ninja characters are going to come into play. The sprite that I made, it is going to come into play. What's going to happen is there's going to be certain decisions that you can make in the game. It's like, come on, bro. This is like your first game is going to be fully complete, and you're making it that complex. But there is going to be decisions you can make in the game. But the thing is, you're supposed to make the good decision. That's just the bottom line. So the um, the developer is basically letting you do. Me, the developer, is allowing you to make either a good or a bad decision at certain points when it comes to either protecting or hunting a mythical creature, right? But if you hunt one of my mythical creatures in this game, you're gonna get the game, you're gonna get the money. You better make sure you save before you do it, because you is gonna die. Oh, that's messing up again. Let me see. All right, I'll see you back in the Age of Science. Why would it take it way over there? All right. I got 2 more levels to beat, so I need to be way over there anyway. Oh, it's because the map's not finished over here, I guess. Or the map is just blue, so it looks like I was. I don't know. It looked like I don't know where I poured it from or what. That was weird. I got 15 time stones. What I did is got an excess. I know I couldn't get stuck. What was I saying? Oh yeah, you can do little messed up stuff like you're supposed to save all of the creatures, but if you decide to not save all of the creatures and you try to like sell one of them for a gain or whatever, and it's gonna seem enticing, or you just gonna be being a jerk and you try to like poach one of the creatures, then you'll be able to get away with it. You'll be able reap the reward for it. But then there's something called a red moon event. It's gonna happen in the game naturally, and you're gonna have to fight your way through it. You're gonna have to fight your way through it when it happens periodically throughout the game. There'll be what's called like red moon events, and the ninjas are gonna come and try to kill you basically. Um, and that's a part of the design where like the buildings, I have to do another animation for the ninja where he's crawling, because they're gonna be like scaling the roof, like crawling across the roofs and stuff, like creeping, hunting you. So you can run, but you ain't gonna do good. Let's just say that they gonna get you. All right, so we completed everything for the Age of Science. There we go. So now we're just going through looking for red portals. We filling up our reflection. The thing is, only the odd number. So the way I did it, the logic for it, only the odd numbers trigger like a portal change or a time change on the Age of Magic, and only the even numbers. See, it did it again. I'm invisible. Or I ported somewhere down here. It's weird. Or the code is written a way where it's above where it's supposed to be, and I'm blitting underneath the screen. I'm definitely here though. Below the screen. Yeah. So something up with that. I gotta fix that. The destinations maybe. I need to go in and fix the destinations. I'm on the Age of Science, so I need to find an even number. This is the number 8. All right. Back to the Age of Magic. And if it's doing that now, I figured out just try to go up. That means I'm lower than the screen. It's porting me lower than the screen. Or it's porting me off screen. So I need. What is doing that now? So clearly it's something about the way I wrote the script. That's an even number, so I need to find an odd number. All right. I know I'm lower than the screen, so come up. All right, I'm back in the Age of Science, so it should be even number. In the Age of Magic. Shouldn't I be there's 20 of them. All right. Let's go Nane. This make it a little bit confusing because everything is very systematic. So I gotta go in and tweak some things. I'm in the Age of Science, so I need an even number. Let's see what numbers have we hit. We hit 1 through. When I get back to the Age of Magic, I'm gonna go for 5. But so far it looks like see, this is what I was talking about. This is what can happen. It should be able to happen. I should just have to find. I'm in the Age of Science. So then where are those are the 8 levels? Okay. There we go. Let's say that's 11. Here we go. There's more. Go down here. As long as I got enough stones, I won't get stuck. Because there's enough teleports to go back and forth. Because each of them have a corresponding. Um, all right, that was fast. 5. Got 5 out the way. Back down here to even numbers. 15 will be next for the odds. All right. My bad, y'all. So, like I said, it's the structure for the whole game. So we basically speed running the game right now. And not speed running it very fast. Speed running it very fast. Hey, back in the Age of Magic. odd. All right. That's 20. There we go. Age of Magic will do me 17. All right. So now we just got one more. And we can see what, and we got one more time stone. So that's why it's going to be important, at least until I figure everything out, to get the time stones or as many time stones as I can first. Because, like, let's say end up in, gotta be one of the team numbers. So it's down here. It's an odd number. To get as many stones as I can. I'm trying to think of how to describe it, but like there's a way you could get stuck right now because there's more Age of Magic levels than there is Age of Science. All right. So once you get 10 out of 10 for um once you get 10 out of 10 for both inspiration and reflection, you become enlightened and you go to the ageless immortals, right? So level has exit. No more time stones. No more time stones right here. I'm contemplating whenever you get to the third level. This is where you get to like meet your mom, I think. Where you go back. If you ain't followed the story, then you don't really know everything I'm talking about. But so you have to go back and watch. But once you meet your mom, you already knew your mom, like your mom raised you. But after everything that happened with the hero, when the hero went bad, and then your brother got confused and knew that the hero was his dad, and then killed himself without this. The your brother kills himself without knowing he's killing himself because he's trying to impress his dad, and then your how you say was it your tears or it's your blood? I'm pretty sure is what brings it back to life. No, no, your mom's tears brings your essence or like your spirit, whatever. It brings your psyche out of the dragon body. And so now you have a physical form where you're able to shift like she does. But you're stuck in your physical, like your man form, because you killed your dragon form. But you don't know it because you don't have understanding for stuff. So that's a part of the story and like how things get revealed to you. Dad is dead because when mom found your body, your dragon form, before she started weeping, your dad was there. He came running to where the dragon went down because, yeah. How should I make? Yeah, dad gets there first. Dad's so upset, but you're dead. Mom gets there. Mom's magic. She cries on. Well, she gets there, kills dad, and because she thinks he's responsible for killing you because he's a hunter and you're in a trap. The dragon body's in a trap. So she thinks that he's hunted and killed you. She doesn't know that, the hero actually loved his kid and was like about to take him back to the village, and the kid wanted to impress the dad. So he's hunting the dragon, not realizing that the dragon is his other form. And when he's dreaming in his unconscious self, he becomes a dragon. So he sets a trap for the dragon, which ultimately ends up being himself. Sets the trap for the dragon as his human self when he is conscious. Dragon, his unconscious form, flies into the trap. So he killed himself without knowing it. And the dad knew that the kids were the dragons, but hadn't explained it yet because his way of convincing them that he was their dad was communicating with them like he understood their dreams and he knew what their dreams meant, but didn't he didn't tell the whole truth. He just told a part. He just told the truth that made it seem like he understood. He told them that they dreamed a dragon because they were hunters like him, and that was a dragon that they're supposed to hunt. So he basically sowed a lie, not realizing that the kid was going to go and try to hunt himself. Um, Kid kills himself. Dad shows up. Dad's so upset. But mom shows up because she's like telepathically connected. So she flies, like shoots over, kills dad when she sees the dragon in the trap because she knows that's her son. Then she weeps on the boy, or the dragon's body, and the boy's psyche comes out in a physical form. And then the boy sees his dad, who he loves. So he rejects the mom, sends her away. She does not die. Or maybe I gotta go back and look at like the actual script that I wrote for it. I'm not sure if he just wounds her or he just emotionally wounds her, but she goes away and everybody assumes that she's dead. He doesn't wound her. He emotionally wounds her, but like he doesn't like physically. He can't do nothing with her. So he's just like rejecting her because he thinks that she killed his dad because she didn't want him to, know his dad. He doesn't even know that he died. Like he just is in his physical form, sees the dragon that he hunted, sees his dad is dead, sees his mom there. So at that point, he rejects her, and then the blood from the dragon is running across the ground. The blood from the dragon gets on the dad while he's there weeping on dad, and the blood of the dragon basically gives his dad a form where his armor kind of expands over his body, and boom. Now he's like this hollow, you call a hollow knight, whatever. His inside, he's like a husk because he's a dead man. Um, but he has his dragon armor on. Or this scale armor, because his armor is actually not a dragon armor; it's the snake skin um, from the mom's like beast form. Uh, Son realizes the power of the dragon blood. Says like, "Hey, if a little bit of dragon blood brought my dad back, um, maybe I can restore his soul with more dragon blood." So he sets out to hunt the rest of the dragons. He does what he set out to do, which is take the dragon scales and make an armor to have armor like his dad's. So he becomes the new grand villain. He is literally the villain of the entire game at that point. The brother that dies is like the arch villain. The hero becomes like his second in command. The other brothers, which is a story behind that, one of them had actually met the dad first, and his other brothers are the other dragons. But because the mom is like heartbroken and goes into hiding, this immortal, ageless immortals, this level is where she's going off to. So now that you're enlightened, you've entered the ageless immortals, and I'll have like a instead of it just like straight porting you there, either through the last mission, because you can do, it depends on how I structure the missions for you to complete. But ultimately, you'll know that you're going to, or that you are entering into the ageless immortals because you're a light enlightened. You'll be enlightened at that point. Um, Ageless immortals. Mom is there, has been there the whole time. You haven't talked to mom. Your brothers haven't talked to mom. The last y'all heard was that, well, there's obviously the gore. You basically, from everything that play out, they don't, that's what happens. Mom leaves. Before she leaves, she like mm, yeah, that's what happens. Before she leaves, she basically enchants the remaining brothers so that they can no longer take off and land in the same place, because they only become dragons when they're dreaming or reflecting, like in deep meditation. So it's like an unconscious thing. And going backwards is more like controlled, but she enchants them in a way where they cannot take off and land in the same time period, so that what happened to their brother can't happen to them. Because if they set a trap for themselves in the age of magic, right? And that's where they were hunting, and then they took off, they have to land in the age of science. So that means that the trap that was set for them in the age of magic won't catch them when they're landing. So, like, and people that kind of are figuring out what's going on, the whole game is about poaching magical creatures, right? The people that are kind of figuring out what's going on, um, I'm gonna go back over here. The people that are kind of figuring out what's going on, they know that, like, hey, that the beast is taking off and it's landing, whatever. It made it where if somebody saw a dragon in the sky, they can't like try to track it to where it's landing, because it's not going to land in the same time period. So, like, because regular men don't have the ability to time travel, there's no way for them to successfully like track a dragon. Um, so she comes, she's enchants them, and then she goes off into her like reclusiveness into the age of ageless immortals, right? Um, that's what I should call it too, the age of ageless immortals. So you're basically outside of time at that point. So she's there, she's all sad. Um, the brothers don't know the whole thing. They know that, they know what their mom told them. And the mom tells them that, the mom don't know the whole story. The mom tells them that the hunter killed their brother. And so they, and you know, they have to protect themselves. And so they don't even know that the villain is their brother. So they're going back and forth through time fighting their brother, fighting their brother. Yeah. And then their evil brother, he basically doesn't know that he's hunting his brothers when he's looking for the dragon blood, because he doesn't know how the switch back and forth works. So he doesn't have the wisdom or the understanding to realize that my brothers are the dragons. So he's hunting the dragons for their blood, not realizing that he's hunting his brothers. And his brothers are fighting him to protect themselves and other magical creatures. cutscenes throughout, and there'll be different times. So like whenever you reflect, your dreams will always be the same. But I think whenever you reflect, there has to be some kind of way for me to, through either an item, almost like how Division in Division 2 has like the audible audio collectibles. There has to be a way for me to reveal the underlying truth of what's happening to the the actual person that's playing the game. Like, and so that's how you're becoming enlightened, because you have all the inspiration and you have all of the reflection. Um, and then you become enlightened. Think about it. I have a way written down, and it's like scrolls that you. So there's tasks that you do in your daily life, like in the past, where like you work, like you practice your martial arts and stuff like that, and you paint. So you, in the future, you go to school. In the past, you do like chores and practice martial arts, and so then um, and you also build infrastructure based off of the knowledge you get from based off of the knowledge that you get from going to school. My bad. Based off the knowledge you get from going to school. Um, and so in the past, you'll like basically master like certain fighting techniques, and then you'll put these techniques into scrolls, and then they will be there in the future for like, and I guess you wouldn't need to find it, but for you to like unravel and share with the new protectors or the future protectors, the people that are in the age of science that are like trying to protect the creatures. So like there will be things that you do in the past that will last into the future. There'll be things that you hide for yourself in the past that you'll need to use in the future. There'll be information in the future that you gather that you will come back and use to create the past. So like there's an overlap going back and forth. Um, I was trying to think of a way like but it sounds like it's not even going to be necessary, like how to carry items or objects across time. I ain't gonna keep stalling on y'all, or like just getting lost in thought. But like I said, pretty much the whole game is like written out, like the story and the lore and how certain people got to where they are. But I'm just explaining to y'all a little bit so y'all can understand how and why the game levels were designed the way they are. And I know the last request or the main request that we had was to put in enemies next. And I made like a whole player sprite. Go back over to that to be the hero. And then I didn't put him in yet because he would need to be the beginning character. So I think what we'll do, um, no, that sprite open. I really didn't need to open it. I can go here. So, let me see if I can blow it up before it work. It won't. So there's the armored hero. Okay, yeah, it'll just let me zoom through all my sprites. I love the direction technology is going. So you can see I already got like some buildings. Trying to see, is that one or is that two? That's just one. Okay. I have two buildings though. I don't know what the other one is. So there's the walk animation. So I did put in another character so that you can start having like some enemy interactions or work on a combat system. Only stuff you're seeing here is probably stuff that I haven't put into the game yet. Because if it were in the game, it would be in a different folder. But if I go here, okay, got building one. There should be a building two. Unless I didn't save it. Yeah, I didn't save it. All right. Well, I didn't save it with the proper name. So let's call this one file, save as. We'll call it building two. The buildings are going to be really important because, like I said, the ninjas will be crawling across the rooftops. We'll go ahead and save that there. Then we're going to come over here, file, save as. And we're also going to put it in our shadow sprites as a PNG. All right, cool. All right. And then so now I can go back to my shadow sprites. If it's still in this folder, that means I haven't put it into the game yet. Because if it wasn't a game, it would be in a different folder. So the buildings are going to work like kind of like how Pokemon work, where you can walk into the building, see inside of it. So there's building one that's just like a normal little building. This is more like a temple. I think 3 layers might be a little bit too much though. Might just be slightly overdone. I don't know what I was going for. That was like just like grand. You could tell but I think 2 levels is probably more than high enough, and this upper level is thicker. Or actually, it probably wasn't done, and I was gonna put like some type of like crest or something on here. But you got your large buildings, and this one like is like the golden pillars, the red for wealth, and it's a green roof. Those are shingles. It's like more like imperial it's supposed to be. This one's more like just like a plain little building or whatever. And I'm gonna do some more structures too. But like when the character get close to it, then you can come up to the front and walk in. Maybe when you get like you can walk past. So I have to be collisions at specific points on here. But you can go up the stairs and into the building. Once you go in, you can fight. I'm probably make some animations for the doors. Uh, Crazy part about like if those ninjas start hunting you and you're like running past buildings or trying to get into a building, they'll be like crawling and looking all stealthy and on top of buildings. And once you go inside, they're gonna come in and kill you. Like, yeah, there ain't no getting away from that. So if you do like some evil stuff in the game, where like you poach a unicorn for its horn, or kill a Pegasus for its wings, or kill a dragon for its talons and its scales, something like that. Like you think you're getting off, but then like the moon will turn red or whatever. Um, at some point, like I'm gonna have like the cycles of the moon at some point too. But like the moon will turn red on a full moon. It's not gonna happen every full moon because like they don't just come whenever you do something bad. They'll come quicker if you do something bad. But overall, it's more like a challenge mode where like if you kill or if you survive the blood moons or the red moons, then you can get like some better gear type situation. So a little bit of farming aspect or whatever. Whew. What else you got? Um Buildings is gonna be cool. Um Looking at the hunter though, or the hero who I have as the hero, I'm not really feeling it no more. Cause I saw like an original drawing that I did for the hero I found, and like he should actually be. I had him more looking like a village dude hunter, but he should look more like a warrior. He already had on like his own little armor, almost like a Roman. No, Snake, I'm probably going to keep the armored hero, pre-death armored hero. Once he gets that dragon blood on him, this is all going to like creep out over his body, and it's going to like give him like it's gonna make him a husk, and he's gonna be inside the armor, but the armor is gonna extend. So he's gonna be like scaled. It basically be like a lizard man or like a snake man. Um, but you'll be able to tell. Like here, it just looks like a skin, like, and it's tough. But I'm gonna have it where it look like more durable once I do his post death revived character. And then this was like the pre death. Let me see. I'll blow it up for y'all a bit. And this is just a rough draft, like, but I'm actually gonna end up using this for. I'm gonna actually end up using his. And so whenever you're moving it, it's enough frames. It's happening fast enough where it actually looks like he's walking. So I'm content with it. There'll be a period of fine tuning drawings and stuff like that, and we'll get to that when we come to it. Yeah, we'll get to that when we come to it. All right, Ninja. Um, Hero is actually going. Well, like I said, we're going to redo the hero. I might end up doing that today. Oh, the last thing I want to do on the stream, right? Y'all can chime in, comment, whatever. If y'all got some suggestions, I'll hit my brother back up later on and ask him what is his suggestions for the game. But the next thing I want to do, no, actually, I'm gonna do it on my phone. I'm gonna make all right, cool. Um, I'm gonna put it in my notes. And it's basically things that need to be tweaked. I'll just notes. There it is. Back out. Um, so Game to-do list. All right, so there's a issue. Okay, to-do list. Issue with um, level exit destination. So instead of coming back out like all the way at the far left of the screen, we want you to come out. We want you to come out right under the game, right beside or at the level. Alright, so how we do it is we'll say the problem and then we'll say the solution. Issue with level exit destinations. Okay, and then the solution would be um, player appears on world map at level completed upon exiting level. All right. Then we have issue with portal. Let's say, sorry. Let me see. Boom, boom. There we go. Okay. Issue with red square portals. Let's see. We got an issue with red square portals. What's the issue with that? Um, that really shouldn't be a problem because when you go through a square portal, you have a destination. It's the counterpart. Um, and it's only happening with the portal jumps. Issue with red square portal destinations. I know what it is. Okay. One destinations where player is teleported outside of the camera. Let's say below. the camera. Okay, and then the solution would be let's see, add logic that prevents player from being teleported outside of the game camera. All right. All right. Those are two glitches that we noticed. What else did we notice was a glitch? There was some UI stuff I wanted to fix. Let me see. Uh, oh, I had to restart the game because we finished it. And lighting looks cool because the letters are in gold. If you don't know, this all started with trying to get my son into computer programming because I do believe that a career in uh, computer science is the beginning of a very lucrative career, and yeah, to try to trick him into liking computers and computer programming, and tricks on me because I got addicted and I really like it. So, oh, here we go. The other problem was let's see, game completion. Game progress counter. I think I should move that down to where the game progress counter. I should either move that to like a start screen. I put game progress counter does not make sense next to the world title because you keep the same progression, but the age of magic, like that should be like specifically for age of magic completion, right? Or progression. So in that case, it should say out of 12, and then the other one should say out of 8. which could be a possibility. But for right now, game progress counter does not make sense next to world title. The solution would be uh, move progression counter move progress counter to pause menu. I think. All right. Right now, with the way the base game is, red square portals does not need to be in the UI ultimately. But like if somebody wanted to play it in this form, like let's see. I think I can remove that actually. Red square portal UI message unnecessary. All right, and then the solution to that would be remove red square portal UI message. All right, so that's just in UI. Um, what else? You notice no portal destination. It was outside of the camera, so by fixing that, we shouldn't have that problem no more. Um, UI problems, motion problems. Uh, I'm obviously gonna oh, I need to make so that's immediate like fixes for right now. And then we'll go to the creative side of things. So things that need to be added. Excuse me. So things that are already there. Yeah, I need to cut my hair. I need to shave. You surely is ugly. Um, Magic Age of Science. Oh, fix the UI for the game completion to the. I'll put the Ageless Immortals. It's a place outside of town. I'm cool with that. I'm pretty sure the name of the game was like Age of Dragons. Um, Think on it, brother. We was on things that we needed to add to the stream. Not to the stream, to the actual to the game. I need to add additional tile squares. Additional tiles for tile maps. Um, Level names. Um, what is it, glaring? And you start putting in like some trees and some collisions. Overall level design. Oh, before I go into that, all right. So I'm gonna put level design. That none of those three things, additional tiles, because we're still in the rough working, right? None of those things we're gonna do next. We're gonna do the immediate problems that need to be fixed. Before we do the tiles, the level names, and the designs, the next thing we're actually going to do is going to be inventory system. Inventory system. And uh, um, interact. So that might be resting or meditating. I have a specific button. Oh, need a combat system. I think the inventory would be the next best system to work on. Inventory system would be the next best system to work on. Combat system. And the inventory system and be able to pick up and drop things. I need interaction. Buttons. It'll be two. Let's split interactions into two different types of buttons. One will be for like interacting with rest and meditation. The other one will be for like cutting down trees, digging. Mm, I guess I need three. need a pickup interacting button. Make it where you don't have to pick up everything. Just because you touch something, that means you have to pick it up. So you got a button to pick things up. Then you need a button to use things. The button to use things will just be the attack button while the thing is equipped. So that means it's kind of a part of inventory system. I'm gonna use the mouse for my equipping, but that kind of takes away from it. We need to come up with the inventory system and interaction system, and I'll do that on my own. So with that being said, I think I don't know if it's gonna be. I'll have to figure out the inventory system before I can. So basically, I need an inventory UI that you access from the pause menu. Whenever you click the pause menu, you probably can maybe see a map. So next thing I need is a pause. So next thing I'm work on, actually the very next thing I'm gonna do is a pause button. Inside the pause button, you need an inventory system and you need a map. And you'll have your game progression. Pause button inventory system. Pause button yields. Let me just indent those. Click the pause button. Inventory system map and game progression. Should all be viewed from game progression. Game progress counter. Okay. All three of those things should be viewed from the pause button. All right. And then inventory system. What should be an inventory system? It needs a UI. And I think I want to use the mouse for this part. I think it would make life easier because then you can click and drag. And it's not like you're going to die or like you're going to get killed because you're paused. Um, player has pockets and stuff like that, and a bag. So the UI would be armor. You gotta have armor, clothing. I'm gonna go ahead and finish brainstorming this out while I'm here, so y'all know what to expect next time. They're probably not gonna have another one of these until I finish some of these things. You got clothing, you got armor, you got weapons. And I'm a / tools. Got clothing, armor, weapons, tools, and then I guess in your bag. So in your clothing, you can have pockets. Hmm. Do this. Certain clothing items can have a specific number of pockets that can hold items, smaller items. So I have to break items down by size and what could be held where. And let's also we'll put the backpack or satchel, some type of pouch. Bags. Okay. And then for armor, it's just what it is. Um, let's go ahead and put something there so I have an idea of what I want to be there. So I'm gonna put stick figure for armor, just so I know like it's gonna be like uh in the UI it's gonna be like head, arms, legs, basically just a body there where you can click on and off armor. And storing armor is going to be related to a chest system. So like that's storage inside of the houses or your huts or whatever. Weapons and tools. Think about it. That's pretty self-explanatory. That can be. Oh, they're going to share the same button for use. Oh, and then items. It has to be an equipped. I think maybe like a quick equip, like where you have 4 things and you can cycle through like weapons and tools that are quick equipped. It's like a primary, secondary. I'll let you have 3. 3 quick equipped. The rest of the stuff will be like in your bag, your pockets. How will I rotate through? Mm, maybe with my pinky over here. For me, that'll be my insert key. Maybe I can use R for rotate. Or control. I still gotta have an attack button. Um, A for attack? No. F for fight. Yeah, setting the controls is kind of turned into the hardest part. It's not like you have a controller or something. I wanted the flow, like your motion, everything is good. You're running, you're jumping, and then boil down to having the other hand. Um, your index finger is going to be the strongest, so you want to use that for attacks. So if you have nothing equipped, then it'll just be a punch. If you want a quick kick, it'll be the C. So F is punch. Kick is C. If you want to rotate between what you have equipped, it should be D. Let's do, let's say F equals attack, punch. Let's see, that's gonna be a problem. Has to be a difference because yes, using my weapon could be related to that, but then what about using an item? It has to be on quick equip. For items on quick equip and you punch and you press punch, then you're going to use it. Yeah, so you just have to. Yeah, that's fine. Punch or weapon attack. Tool use. Weapon attack, tool use, and then item use, depending on what's equipped. All right. And if nothing's equipped, it's just punch. I can work with that. All right. Then C is kick. Trying to make the controls natural to your fingers. Kick. Um, C would be a good crawl button. I'm not gonna lie. C for crawl. You still haven't figured out how to lower stage yet. Kick, kick, or punch, 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 or tap, 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 kick, kick, kick. Actually, I think I want V for kick. Nah, no. Punch, attack, tool use, item use, kick. There was one more thing I had said. Let's see. And then D was to rotate through quick equips. Quick equip. Rotate. Or rotate. Quick equip. Selection. All right, boom. All right. Your armor is going to do what armor does. Your clothing, your pocket is going to be where you pull things from. To quick equip, That's a pretty good inventory system. And then we need an interaction button. I'm thinking either A or E. Using your middle finger is that's a strong finger. Your pinky is on the very edge. So if you want to interact, it's kind of weird. I'm gonna go with E. And then E to interact. And it makes sense because we already have that for entering. E is our interact button. That's perfect. All right. E equals interact. Let's see if that hit everything. We need a pause menu. What is going to be the pause? Spacebar is already jump. But it can't be something that's really hard or that's going to like mess up the game flow and people need to switch stuff and they feel like they're dying because they can't switch fast enough. We got F, C, E, N, D. F, C, E, F, C, E, D. Either be V, G. Let's see. I'm going to put my other hand down. So this hand is responsible for movement and helping me run. It already kind of has a lot to do. I might switch run from actually holding shift to holding the key down. And then I can use shift. Yeah. I didn't write that down. I can use shift to I like being able to control because what if you need to burst run, you know? I feel like I might put on delay, like if you hold the walk key for 1 second. Let's see, 1001. That's not on the 1002, 1001, 1000. I think 2 seconds. I need to switch. Okay. So equals pause, and shift equals pause. Holding direction key for 2 seconds is the new run. Holding direction key. Okay. So at which point we kind of just took care of the interact buttons. Ease interact. The other one's attack and rotate. I was thinking like for people who are trying to play a game without a mouse, might just be screwed for now, bro. You don't have to use that mouse. Um, Click the mouse. Oh, you click shift, pauses the game, grab your mouse, switch stuff. Certain clothing items will have different numbers of pockets. Oh yeah. All right. It's been almost 2 hours of me in front of y'all just talking. I'm gonna let y'all go. This need to be up higher. UI use mouse to click and drag. Those are the keys. We'll say mouse, click and drag equal selection. All right, boys and girls. We just made our pause UI inventory set. Well, we formulated, and now when we go back, we'll actually do it. But we made our pause. This will be my next maybe devlog because once I finish the system, um, inventory system starts with a pause. Opens the well, it opens a menu, and you can select from inventory, map. I want game progression to show automatically. So game progression will be there as soon as you press pause and move that up. Cut. Move that up here. So the first thing you'll see will be your game progression counter, and then you can either select inventory or map. Be two tabs. So, okay. All right. So you select inventory system. You'll see your inventory UI. Clothing, armor, pockets, bags. The bag will be out to the side. And maybe you'll shift through the first. You can flip the body, like there'll be a blank body, and one tab you click it over the body will have the clothing, and it'll show your pockets and stuff. And then the other one you click will be your armor. That'll either be off to the far right or to the far left, or maybe even smack dab in the middle. If you go to the clothing uh, tab, then you'll see your clothes, and the clothing that you have on will determine how much stuff you can carry. So those pockets will be shown to the left for those clothing items, and your bag will be immediately to the left of the immediately to the left of the stick figure man or whatever, the body. And then off to the left will have however many pockets you have. Um, and then if you flip to the armor, carrying that will either be in your bag or on your body. Interesting. No, your bag should be off to the right. Your bag should be off to the right side of your body, immediately to the right side of the body. So on the left side, number of pockets based off of your clothing selection. Your other tab is your armor. Your bag will be present, and you can pull out of your bag. You can pull armor out of your bag, basically. You can also pull other things out of your bag as well. So in that case, like the bag being on the left or the right, yes, maybe you need like a medicine pouch. Uh, Pockets are pockets. You can carry what you want in them. I think pockets should carry all the other items. And then the bag should carry like armor, stuff like that. Armor and weapons. That makes more sense. Armor, weapons, tools. And then that way your clothing off to the left has your pockets. And then if you click the other tab, your armor off to the right. Your armor off to the right. Has your quick select section. You can select things that you're going to put up to use like immediately. You can pull armor out of the bag to put on that body. I have to sit down and draw this because it's deep, but we passed 2 hours. Let me see. So that means y'all know what time it is. Yes, y'all do. Hey, peace, love, happiness. Shadow out.